Let's take a look at the questions for this week. Number one coming from Twitter, is Yangervis Solarte our future third baseman?
I don't know about that, but he has played extremely well. And where he's going to end up, none of us know. But for a young man to be the 25th guy on your roster, the guy that maybe you spent the most time over in spring training and discussions, to get off to the start he's been a big part of our success.
It seemed like early on a lot of people were throwing him fastballs, then started throwing more breaking stuff. He went through a little bit of a slump and then made adjustments. What adjustments did he make to get back?
I thought the biggest adjustment is he got his right-handed swing going. I thought when he was struggling, he was struggling against left-handed pitchers. And some people would argue that was his stronger side coming into spring training. And we saw like 8 out of 10 lefties, and it was right at the end he started getting it going, and that's when his numbers took off again.
Nice surprise to have.
Oh, he's been great.
Lester K18 via Twitter writes, will Betances remain in the bullpen because of his mechanics, or is there a belief that he can start again?
I believe that he'll remain in the bullpen just because we've simplified everything for him. He's become a 2-pitch pitcher and has become dominant. And before he was a 4-pitch pitcher, and at times he was dominant, at times it was a struggle for him. And he's just become such an important part of our bullpen. I don't see him leaving.
Think he's a guy that could eventually close in the future?
He's got that stuff. I don't want to put too much on him too soon. He's got that kind of stuff. But, you know, you have to see how guys respond, you know, when they go through tough times, because that's all part of it, getting back up. So far, so good. You know, you talked about early in the show, he gave up a homer the first pitch he threw on Saturday, and they got the next 6 guys out. So he is responding well to adversity.
We'll take a look at Alvin Negron via Facebook. Hey, Joe, it seems the most confusing play so far is blocking of home plate. In the final game of the series against the Mets, it seemed like the Mets catcher was blocking Kelly Johnson's path and did not give him a clear spot to try to slide. Is that a case where Johnson should have collided with the catcher? I know this has been a big point of contention for you.
Yeah, I still don't know the rule. I don't think anyone really knows the rule. The idea is behind all this, they've encouraged to get away from the collisions, the senseless collisions. And if a guy's blocking the plate and a runner chooses to bowl him over, I'm not going to say a word. It's when, you know, maybe the guy's in front of the plate and the guy goes after him, or he's up in the air and you could have slid and got underneath and the guy goes after him. I think that's what they're trying to get away from. But we were told that you had to give a path, and sliding between the legs was not necessarily a path. But that has changed. We still don't know the rule, and they're trying to iron it out. It's just, it becomes tough when you get, you know, the players are involved, the lawyers are involved, and it's just kind of tough right now.
Do you find catchers, or does it seem like catchers are thinking about it a little bit when they're out there, or do you think the instincts just take over and they continue
I think
on?
the instincts have taken over, and maybe the runners are a little bit more conscious about trying to slide, but I really haven't seen a lot of changes.
And have you seen anyone call that they were in the way?
I heard there was one.
Because I haven't seen it yet.
I heard there was one, and I never got a chance to look at it, but I'd love to see it.
Because my question would be, then why not go back to the way it was until they start calling it?
Yeah, I think that's really what it is.
Yeah. All right, one via Twitter here. Which of the other teams in the AL East do you think is the biggest concern down the stretch?
You know, it's hard to say. I think it's the teams that are going to respond best to injury are going to be the teams, or the teams that stay the healthiest are going to be the teams that are there in the end.